I got a lot of questions about the decision to cancel the XRP and HBA rallies. We seem to have been patiently waiting for weeks with no significant development. I said, hey, what better way to feed your men's appetite than to explain what's really going on, since I know a lot of you guys want to become billionaires tomorrow. After extensive research into the blockchain, I uncovered several peculiar transactions that, when interpreted, provide an intriguing tale. I hope many of you guys will find today's video informative and entertaining, because I discuss some current happenings in geopolitics and finance. And on the day we decide to give up, all we really need are answers. Isn't it when Lamborghini, not when, that matters? To me, that is the central inquiry. Now would be the perfect time for me to figure it out. That being said, it is somewhat what we are dealing with at the moment. The market as a whole is extremely volatile, although XRP, HBA, and RXLM were looking good at one point. If HRP and RXLM were looking good at one point, then everyone should probably just let loose and enjoy themselves, because they're doing so much better than the rest of the market, right? As a result, there is strong evidence of complete domination if these projects are rising, while the majority of cryptocurrencies are falling, or if they are falling at a far slower rate than their rivals. But before we get to that, let's address this. The cryptocurrency market has been struggling, as you may be aware. There has been a $655 million drain from the Bitcoin market in the past 24 hours. Many of you have likely been inquiring about the timing of the next rally for some time now, given the size of that spread. Well done, everyone. We got some really interesting news about a financial calamity in China, so I guess I should start with that. Then we'll talk about whale interests and take it easy for a while. According to the records, this did not occur. Compared to Japan, China currently has cheaper 30-year Hobby prices, which is somewhat surprising. Some claim that, similar to Japan's economy in the 1990s, China's is also in a downward spiral. Tell me what this means. Here we see the 3.12-month Chinese government bonds instead of the Japanese ones, the lowering of interest rates by China. There has been an increase in Japanese hobby fees, and Japanese yields have remained below those of Yizhou, China, even throughout the financial crisis of 2008. Now, China's economy is starting to resemble Japan's. In other words, China's economy expanded far too rapidly, and the country is also experiencing a nationalist backlash. It needs no introduction that this is an awful combination. What happens when the local population is low despite a highly skilled labor force? Customer needs cannot be satisfied by you, and vice versa. Deflation occurs when things go crazy and many people have cash on hand. The problem is that the market isn't large enough to handle all of their current activities. The population is outstripped by the number of dwellings. There is far too much stuff there for the residents. So what exactly must individuals do? Perhaps they are under the impression that they must reduce prices in order for individuals to generate a profit. Any economic system would suffer greatly from that. And traders in China's 11 trillion yuan government bond market have been rather positive towards the world's second largest banking sector, as is evident. This being the case, the largest gap that Chinese bonds have ever created in the U.S. is already opening up. Signs and symptoms are appearing in China's bond market, which is worth 11 trillion yuan. China has experienced deflation for 6 consecutive quarters, a phenomenon not seen since 1999. The real estate market is collapsing at a rate considerably steeper than in 2008, and this is causing shifts in population. In the 1990s, Japan witnessed a similar situation. After nearly 25 years, Japan is still deeply affected by this. At the moment, both the Japanese stock market and the real estate market are at all-time highs. Regardless, the Japanese market has not recovered to its previous level. Because of this, it's quite risky. It may have a devastating effect on economies, and some have never fully recovered. One of the most important connections between Japan and China in the 1990s is the demographic shifts that occurred in the country. By the year 2050, the proportion of the Chinese population that is 65 and older will have increased to 39%. 45% of the population could be 65 or older, a significant increase from 13% in 2010. They have a policy of allowing only one child per household, and that's the federal loan service. And they must find a relative to pay the federal loan service. Also, there's a larger picture of, and it is the road that will lead to the extinction of their entire species.
I don't understand.
Concerning the cryptocurrency market, what is the relevance of this? It is undeniably something that would benefit from receiving a little more attention. This kind of catastrophic collapse may affect the entire market if any large economy were to experience it. Going beyond China, put simply, China ranks first among exporters globally. Many factories there produce goods that are shipped to customers all around the globe. Furthermore, should they encounter difficulties in reaching their destination due to domestic factors such as population declines, deflation, or other similar challenges, a large portion of the population will no longer make purchases. Economies in the United States, Canada, and Europe will all be experiencing a slowdown at the moment. Either we need to locate our manufacturing elsewhere, or we will have to wait for China to sort things out. In these kinds of situations, most people are on the lookout for one particular item, a cushion in case the commercial economy collapses and prices go up. We have never before in human history had more than a single distinct option. During periods of economic uncertainty, one of these, gold, became the most popular investment option. Coincidentally, this is also happening with cryptocurrencies. No more worrying about producing fresh coins, which will inevitably be lost and ruin everything thanks to this fiat mechanism. Indeed, that is the function of cryptocurrencies. Everybody here needs to go that route. But many news outlets will point to China and say, oh, that's why it's happening, suggesting that various forms of market manipulation may be occurring at the moment. For that reason, the markets are in a downturn. Not much has changed. But in reality, there are big whales in the U.S. giant corporations who deal with billions of dollars at once, first sending it from Coinbase, then selling it there, and then doing it again with many decryptos. This whale transferred $247 million worth of Solana from one anonymous wallet to all of the other wallets. From an anonymous wallet to Coinbase, these pockets transferred $141 million worth of Bitcoin. And further, $181 million was sent by this individual from an unidentified source to an alternate exchange called Cumberland. Indeed, that is an issue that demands your whole focus. The massive quantity of price manipulation is being caused by individuals trading Solana, Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrencies for tens of thousands of dollars at once and then selling it on the open market right once.